Mandy is the second film written and directed by Panos Cosmatos, and I certainly hope he continues to make more because all of the hype you have heard about this movie is true. It's amazing. This is hands down the most visually striking film I've seen this year, and its rich color palette and surrealist imagery completely hypnotize you from the moment it starts. And if this isn't your type of film, don't worry because it lets you know whether it's for you or not pretty quick. As far as Nicolas Cage's performance goes, again, the hype is very real and he is very good in this. I think that perhaps if you're a little younger than I am, you might not realize what a talented person Nicolas Cage is since he's basically been a living meme for the last 10 years.
I never misspelled anything! Not once, not one time!
He's known to be very eccentric in both his acting choices and his personal life, and at one point he even bought a big dinosaur skull that he had to give back because it turned out to be stolen, and also I don't think you're supposed to have those. Oh, and as I was looking through Nicolas Cage interviews in preparation for this video, I noticed that he's also well on his way to having all of the Infinity Stones. Until I noticed people calling his role in Mandy a comeback of sorts, I hadn't really thought about how long it had been since there had been a performance of his that was so universally liked. The last time I remember people talking about what a great job he did in something was back in 2010 when he played Big Daddy in Kick-Ass. Cage has done 26 films in the 8 years between Kick-Ass and Mandy, so yeah, I guess it has been a while since a performance of his has been spoken about with such unironic affection. Even though Nicolas Cage has fully embraced his meme-hood for years now and really doesn't seem to care what people think of him or his acting choices, it's still really great to see him truly enjoy being in a role because you can just tell in his performance as Red and in the way he talks about it in interviews how much he genuinely loves it. This wasn't even the role he was supposed to play, by the way. The director originally approached him with the role of Jeremiah, the villain, and he said that he preferred to play Red because he was going through a lot of tragedy in his life at the time and felt that he related to the Red character more. And I am so glad that the director decided to go along with this because he and Andrea Riseborough, who is just outstanding in the role of Mandy, fit so well together as a couple. The type of story this film is telling does not work nearly as well unless you believe these two are deeply in love and happy with each other, and these two sell that 100%. The other reason I am so glad Cage was not interested in the role of the villain is the fact that they could not have cast a better person for this. Linus Roach as Jeremiah is my personal favorite performance of this film. I almost feel bad that Nick Cage is getting all of the attention for this because people just aren't talking about how great Linus Roach is in this. This character is such an absurd human being, and the things that come out of his mouth are so crazy that in the hands of a less skilled actor, the whole thing would just fall apart. When you play a character that has such a grandiose sense of self, you have to make the audience believe that this person truly believes every crazy word that is coming out of their mouth, and Linus Roach does this perfectly. Bill Duke is even great in this, even though he's only in it for like 2 seconds. I am a little triggered by the fact that he has stubble, though. Mandy is very aesthetically similar to Cosmatos' 2010 film Beyond the Black Rainbow. They also both take place in 1983. Cosmatos has described Beyond the Black Rainbow as an inhale and Mandy as an exhale, and if you've seen both films, that makes a lot of sense. I watched Beyond the Black Rainbow after seeing Mandy, and though the films are quite different story-wise, they're both highly visceral and share a lot of imagery that make the two almost feel like sister films. Cosmatos has a very distinct style, and I don't know if I've seen someone who loves the color red as much as this man. He drenches his scenes in enough red light to make Nicholas Winding Refn weep. Almost all the text in his movies are red, and his main character's name is Red, and I am here for all of it. Oh, and he's also adorable and loves RoboCop.
You know, obviously I love RoboCop, and I have a vivid memory of going to see this, I think at the Man Bruin, and at the end of the movie, a man in the balcony yelled out, RoboCop for president, and I think everybody in the audience agreed that RoboCop would make a great president, and I still think that.
Mandy is by no means your average revenge film. The first half is paced very slowly, but trust me, it's a good thing. And it makes the events that happen later in the film much more meaningful. I've heard some people saying that Mandy's first and second half feel like two very different films, and I guess I kind of agree because there is a tonal shift halfway through. But it's very much earned to the point where the film deciding to kick it into high gear in the second half feels very natural rather than jarring. This film is so uniquely beautiful that it's hard to find the words to describe just how taken in I was by it. I loved it so much, in fact, that it kind of makes me nervous that there were 8 years in between this director's 2 films, because I just got introduced to his work and I really hope he doesn't make me wait almost a decade for him to make another thing. I just got obsessed with you. Please make something else soon. Love you. Thanks. Panos Cosmatos is a good boy and this is a good movie. 44 out of 10.